of scrimmage at times. There's no mistake. This guy's going to carry the ball. So what do? They bring the linebackers. Here comes Govea up the middle. He's a workhorse, Derrick.
So no gain, 2nd and 10. Copeland in motion this time. Dilfer with quick throw. There's touchdown, Jackie Harris. The tight end with the 10-yard reception. And the Buccaneers with their 2nd score of the day.
There it is. That's what they were waiting for. Jackie Harris getting a man-to-man coverage with the linebacker. They used all kinds of motions and different formations to spread the defense out a little bit. Seahorse Copeland back and forth, bringing the man over the top, and then Jackie Harris right up the seam. One-on-one with Kurt Govea. Can't handle him.
That's a terrific catch. He was going the other way, and the ball a little bit high. But the veteran tight end does the job. Houston on for the extra point. Tampa Bay gets on the board. Sam Wyche certainly happy with the decision-making from Trent Dilfer on that drive. Dilfer to the tight end, Jackie Harris. It's 14-6 Tampa Bay. Buccaneers hoping to stop a streak of 12 straight seasons with double-digit losses. They've got the lead here in the 4th after Trent Dilfer and Jackie Harris combine on a 10-yard strike.
Jackie Harris, nice job on that play. They're finally getting him into the offense. He was out of the offense in the first half. They need this guy.
And that defensive holding penalty was key there as it helped keep Tampa Bay in the drive alive. Michael Houston will kick it off. Garner and Martin back to receive. Kelvin Martin at his own 6. Quickly knocked down, and we have a penalty on the play.
Look at him. He's pumped up. Kenneth Gant, is he excited? What a special teams player.
That's what they got him for. This one's going against Philadelphia on a hold.
Holding, I believe it was number 58. Derrick Oden had a tough time staying with his man.
So Philadelphia's going to have bad field
Illegal
position.
block in the back. Number 58 on the return team. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Eagles will start back at their own 7. They trail now 14-6.
Eric, just when you...
Philadelphia Eagles once again with 4 field position. Ball all the way back at their 8-yard line. They trail 14-6 still. Lots of time here in the 4th quarter. Just under 12 minutes. 3 wide receivers in the game. Cunningham fires, complete to Calvin Williams. Breaks the tackle and gets up. Flag thrown on the play. Could be a face mask.
That's what it appears to be. On the tackle was Hardy Nickerson, I believe, was the guilty person right there.
Lonnie marched in on the stop as well.
Face mask. Number 56 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Nickerson is the guilty party.
Reception, he turns upfield. He gets his hand on him. It's just a 5-yard penalty. It wasn't intentional. Didn't hold on to it and yank it to the ground. Just in bad position to make the tackle.
So the ball brought up to the 20. First and 10 again. It's to Waters. Waters cuts inside. Strong move up now to about the 27.
Nice pickup. Nice pickup by Waters. Look at here. Randall Cunningham's over there talking to Waters. Waters points up and says, these crowds are booing me. What's the deal here? I'm here to win for him. I want to help him out. And Randall says, look, I've been through this before. It isn't nothing. Go out there and do your job.
That was right after Waters fumbled, in which Tampa Bay Kenneth Gant recovered. 2nd down and 3. That time a good pickup from Waters. He gets the call again. Waters has the first down and gets up to about the 33. Ran into Eddie West's own man, but finally tackled Charles Zimri to stop.
Some nifty moves right there by Ricky Waters out of the backfield. Changing direction several times. Finding a way to pick up yards here.
Zimri getting some assistance. Very experienced secondary for Tampa Bay. Another first down for Philadelphia. Cunningham. Quick drop, incomplete. Threw it behind Waters. Lonnie March right there on coverage.
Ricky would have liked to have grabbed that one because it was all open field down the middle if he could hold on.
Waters in his first year in Philadelphia, the unrestricted free agent. Followed Rhodes. 4 very strong years with San Francisco and that great Super Bowl run last season.
11 carries in that Super Bowl. 3 of the times on those carries were touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Kevin Turner on a draw, and Turner's got the first down.
Oh.
Tony Scargill brought him down, but they fooled him that time.
They sure did. They brought in the sub package there, and Kevin Turner was the lone back. They spread him out with the receivers, and they just open it up, and it's a draw play. Beautiful. Look at the opening in there. Brad Culpepper gets pushed out of the way, and it's an open center of the field, and Kevin Turner lowers his head and just runs right up the middle.
Another first down. Ball now up at their own 45-yard line. Cunningham to throw on first. Quick out. Turner's got it. Doesn't get a lot. Lynch with the tackle. Let's once again return to James Brown in our Hollywood studios.
All right, Mike, Green Bay won't score, so St. Louis indicates, well, let us do it. Chris Miller looking for Alexander Rice, former NFL's fastest man. Great leap and catch for the score, 14-7 St. Louis. Where's the offense in Green Bay? Back to Mike and Bill.
The offense in Philadelphia at times looks strong, but they've only come away with 2 field goals. On the move, however, now. 2nd and 6. Counterplay to Turner, and that fooled no one. Culpepper in on the stop, along with Warren Sapp.
Penetration is what blew up that counter OT play. Backside offensive tackle and guard come pouring around. Randall pivots out and gives it back door to Ricky Waters. Fooled nobody.
Culpepper in his first year did an excellent job with Tampa Bay. 3-yard loss that time for the Eagles. So a 3rd and 9. They trail 14-6. Still lots of time of the 4th. Culpepper a little over anxious that time.
Encroachment defense, number 73, made contact before the snap, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
He wanted to make the back-to-back nice plays.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a little tough when you get airtime for penalties. I know that. There's been some, a few penalties today. Pretty common on opening day in the NFL, though. You're going to have those mistakes. Guys are over anxious, appears to be today, on both sides of the line.
3rd and 4 now after they walk off the 5 yards. Cunningham, the middle to Waters, incomplete, and a 4th down coming up.
Wow. I don't know about that. I think that should have been a caught ball. I think that should have been a caught ball, and it sounds like the Philadelphia Eagles fans believe it too. He wasn't possibly thinking the safety was there, was he? Boy, I'll tell you. You go watch film from a Monday morning in a meeting. Looked like he had some alligator arms right there. Was he thinking the safety was coming up?
I think so.
Wow.
Punt on a beautiful high punt. Bobby Joe Edmonds going to let it go. And it'll bounce into the end zone. Tampa Bay will take over at their own 20-yard line. Just under 8.5 to play here in the 4th. Some of the Philly fans not happy with Ricky Waters. Running back Ricky Waters' debut in Philadelphia not going according to plan.
Comes right out after that series, puts his head down on the bench and sits there and says, oh my gosh, what have I done? I was in San Francisco with the greatest offense ever. Now I come here and things aren't working well. Let me tell you something, Ricky. You're going to make mistakes in this league. Don't put your head down. Bounce back up and get after it.
1st and 10 now for Tampa Bay. They've got the 14-6 lead. And this guy's going to get the football quite a bit down the stretch. Derrick maybe gets 2 yards on the play.
Derrick Rett's going to carry the ball a lot. I mean, why not?
In terms of where he goes, talked about how he loves it in the middle. They're not varying it today.
No. He likes to hammer it up inside. That's where his cutback lanes are.
2-yard pickup that time, so 2nd and 8. strong in motion. Eric Rett tries to find somewhere, but can't go anywhere. Mark Gunn slowed him down early on before everyone else piled on, including Andy Harmon.
Our defensive line has been doing a heck of a job. You know, they're not over-pursuing him. They're waiting. They're riding through the shoulder. But look at these guys right here. They just string themselves along. Wait. They're waiting for him to make the cut. There's a clear example right there. Mark Gunn's all over him. And a whole host of them. Andy Harmon's in on the tackle. Nice job, guys.
Extra defensive backs come in for Philadelphia on a 3rd and 8. Crowd getting loud. A little difficult to hear down there. Dilfer has time. Fires downfield. Complete. Lawrence Dawsey knocked out of bounds. Big first down for Tampa Bay. 15-yard pickup. Mark McMillan with the tackle.
Dilfer coming alive when he has to. 3rd and 8. First 2 plays were running plays. They get in a situation where it's 3rd and 8. Finds his man Lawrence Dawsey for the first down. Nice completion.
Clock runs. Just over 6.5 to play. They move the chain. Hawkins and Dawsey split out to the right. Holtman on the left. 3 wide receivers for Dilfer on this first down. Eric Rett, a little bit of a hole. Maybe 2 yards on the pickup. Mark Gunn on the stop. And Dilfer's going to be handing it off to Eric Rett quite a bit, but Dilfer's done a pretty solid job.
Nice job for a young quarterback in his first season opener. Not sure really what to expect from the defense because it is the season opener. 10 of 18, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Hey, Sam Wyche has got to be happy with that. Now they just got to run out the clock.
Did throw the 1 interception, but the Eagles did not capitalize. 2nd down and 6. Movement once again, flag thrown. Jackie Harris moved a little bit, but also so did Mark Gunn.
You know, we've talked about the hard count and how he's working it, but do you know who's doing a great job? It's the offensive line, because they're not getting thrown off. They hear it's on 3 or a long 4, and they're staying in there. They're staying in there and holding their water and waiting for it. These guys have been together for 4 years. What a good job they're doing today.
This one will be discussed. We may have a difference of opinion. As the Stripes have done an excellent job this afternoon. Gary Lane and his crew. Perhaps the most underappreciated job in the NFL.
No one likes the officials. Players, referees.
Sam Wyche doesn't like him sometimes.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 83, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Dave Moore, the penalty. Moore in motion. He's the one.
I don't know about that. He's in motion. Everybody held tight. They're talking about Jackie Harris, the other tight end on the line of scrimmage. He didn't move. I'm not sure about that call there.
So a 2nd and 12.
Meanwhile, they're still having a conversation over there, Randall and Ricky Waters.
They've become good friends.
They're going to have to become real good friends with 5:24 left. They need some points.
2nd and 12. Gets a few yards. That's back to the original line of scrimmage. Michael Zordich on the stop along with Andy Harmon. So another big 3rd down coming up. Clock continues to run. We're down to the 5-minute mark.
Well, let's see if Philadelphia learned anything here from the last series. With 3rd and 10, they were 3rd and 8 last time. They know who's going to have to make the play, and it's Trent Dilfer. Let's see if Philadelphia can come up with something creative to stop.
Red getting a rest. Jerry Ellison comes in his place on a 3rd down and 10. Dilfer flex out. Looks downfield. Loud to downfield. Caught. Copeland again with another big first down. All the way down to the 18-yard line.
Wow.
44-yard pickup.
What a great job by Horace Copeland.
Coming for the Eagles is down.
Watch right here. He's going to go down the field and cut across the middle and find an open spot so Trent Dilfer can adjust and make the pass downfield to him. Trent Dilford, on the other hand, he's at the other end of the field. He's got people all over him. He just waits in the pocket till he finds his man come open, and he's it downfield. Super job on by both guys, Dilford and Forrest Copeland.
Frazier let Copeland get the position, and Copeland puts him in excellent field position. Mark Gunn is down for Philadelphia. The trainer's attending to him right now. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, on the move. And it's Tampa Bay deep in Philadelphia territory.
Dilford does a fabulous job. He's in the pocket, green all around him, around his feet, on his left, right, middle. He stays with it. He stays in there with patience until he finds Forrest Copeland break off of Derrick Frazier and gets open. Super job by the young quarterback.
The injured Eagle was William Fuller. Not Gunn, but Fuller's okay. Get up. And seems to have no problem. Dilfer, by the way, now 11 of 19, 214 yards. 2 TDs and 1 interception. They've got the ball at the Eagle 19. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. 19-yard touchdown. And the Buccaneers may have put this one away with a little over 4 minutes remaining. Still a lot of time, but they have all the momentum now.
Great job. It was a trap play. Sam Wyche is so happy with him. It was a trap play by Guy McIntyre. Watch him right here. Not Guy McIntyre. I'm sorry. Ian Beckles. He comes across and kicks out the guy and opens a huge hole. Nice play. Nice play. Nobody can get in the middle in time.
Hardly touched at all. Houston on for the extra point. And a lot of the fans now heading for the exits here at Veterans Stadium. 21-6. Tampa Bay in control. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Eric Rett with the score. Only a few Eagle fans celebrating right now as Tampa Bay's Eric Rett 19-yard run gives the Buccaneers a 21-6 lead with just over 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth. And the big play, 44-yard hookup, Dilfer to Copeland. Houston to kick off once again. Garner and Martin are back. Garner takes it on the hop. Garner with some room. Nice run up to about the 30-yard line. And that's where Philadelphia will take over. They need a couple of scores. And coming up, prior to the end of this afternoon's game, we will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game. Right now, a lot of Tampa candidates. Not much to the other end.
I would say so. Tampa Bay getting off to a good start here early.
Tough start for them in Philly, in Cleveland. They come up with a victory. Exactly the start that Sam Wyche was hoping for.
Saul Waters and Cunningham together. They need to gel right now.
Cunningham fires. It was almost intercepted by Brooks, but he dropped it. Intended for Ed West, the tight end, and it looked like Brooks was going to have his first NFL interception.
Good coverage on the play by Brooks. It's the second read. He's right with him. He steps in. Right in front of the ball. Should have held on to it. That's why he plays defense. He's not a receiver.
So Ed West did a good job of pouncing on him as soon as the ball came near. Second and 10. Cunningham, quick drop. And Turner couldn't hold on. Lonnie Martz with some good coverage on the play. Turner thought there was interference. There is a flag thrown.
Pass interference, defense, number 51. First down.
Turner was right. So they'll move it up to about the 38-yard line.
Look at all the new Philadelphia starters for 1995.
All on offense there.
That's probably some of the problems. Sometimes it takes time for them to gel, but they have to gel quick. If they drop this one, then they go out to a tough Arizona team.
4 new starters on the offensive line as Cunningham back on first and 10. Fires downfield, and Waters incomplete. He saw Charles Dimry coming, and he stopped.
I'm telling you something. I'll tell you what. He saw Charles Dimry close on the play, and his feet stopped moving.
And that has not endeared himself to the Eagle fans here.
Look at right there. He stopped. He's looking at the guy. He's looking right in his eyes. Wow. I'll tell you what. If I'm the owner and I'm spending that kind of cash, I'm a little upset right now.
Hearing the footsteps and then seeing the helmet of Dimry come right at you. Second down and 10. Cunningham hit. Intercepted. Lonnie March. And March has some room to bring it back. Tackle at the 39, and it has fallen apart here for the Eagles.
Pressure on the quarterback by number 75, Eric Curry. Let's take a look at the pressure coming. Eric Curry, former first-round draft choice. Look at him. Working against the rookie. Barrett Brooks turns the corner, gets a piece of his shoulder, brings him down as he's releasing it. Result, Lonnie March with the interception.
Again, this is a Tampa Bay team that had 20 sacks all last year. Last in the NFL. They've got 5 this afternoon and a number of pressures.
Quite a credit to defensive line coach Tom Pratt, who has come in and joined the club this offseason. Has done quite a great job.
And Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator, he gives a lot of credit to Pratt. Just under 3.5 to play. 21-6, Tampa Bay in control. They've got the ball at the Philadelphia 39. Eric Brett has a hole and gets 4 yards. I want to remind you this game presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited.
Well, it looks like Philadelphia is tucking its tails a little bit here with 3:03 left. They know they're going to run the ball. As a coach, when you're losing in this situation, you don't want to see your defense quit. You want to see them fight it all the way to the end.
Second down and 6. Eric Brett's going to get most of the calls now, and he's got another first down, or at least very close to it. After a slow start, Red has come up big here in the second half.
As we said before, it takes some time to get his motor running, but once he does, he gets in the flow of the game, and he came out the second half, and this guy's been carrying the ball exceptionally well. Remember, he started off early with 0 yards, and then he had 5 yards on 3 carries. And now look at it, 24, 79 yards, 1 touchdown.
Just shy of the first down, so it's 3rd and 1. Coming up on the 2-minute warning, and Waters has really had a long afternoon. And Dilfer will let it run down. 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Trent Dilfer, looking to turn their franchise around. They've been solid all afternoon. Dilfer will go himself, and it doesn't look like he got it. Depending certainly on where the officials mark the football. Trent Dilfer, in his second year out of Fresno State, has had a very solid afternoon. Had some pressure. He had to go out for a game, but Sam Wyche has to be proud of him.
This team's going to be a team that competes in the NFC Central, Mike. If you look at that division, it's really wide open. You know, today Green Bay's not putting any points on the board up there. Detroit, you never know what team's going to show up. Bears have struggled. This could be a year for Tampa Bay to really make a move in the Central Division.
Maybe a long year for the Eagles. I want to give special thanks today to our producer, Keith Felling, director Michael Frank, our statistician, Chuck Gardner, and spotter Ron Reed, and all the members of the crew. Great job this afternoon from everyone. Terrific camera work as we open the 95 NFL season. So a first down on the spot. It didn't look like he got it, but he got a very kind spot from the official. And with 1:47 and ticking, Tampa Bay looks like they're going to start off the season with a strong road win. This pretty much will be the play the rest of the way. And Derrick gains about 5. And our Miller Lite player of the game, we're going to give it to that gentleman right there, Trent Dilfer. Strong leadership shown this afternoon. Not spectacular, but solid when he had to.
Well deserved. Well deserved. I really like the young guy's confidence. And he came into the meeting yesterday. We talked to him. He has a lot of poise and just an aura about him. He can run an offense. He wants to be a good player. And all those meetings, all off season with Sam Wyche, really starting to pay off. Over 80 meetings.
There was no off-season for Trent Dilfer. Second and 5. Brett again, quickly hit. Gobea with the initial hit, and he gets a couple. Still short of the first down as the second tick away. An impressive way to start the season for Tampa Bay.
Boy,
and in Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what. You look at the Bucs' schedules they got coming up. Their two toughest ones were here, at Philly and at Cleveland next week. They got one out of Philadelphia. Now they go up and play a tough ground team. Then it's the Bears, the Redskins, the Carolina Panthers, the Bengals, the Vikings. Sam Wyche real happy. Congratulations, Eric Rhett. I'm sure he's going to give a big hug to Dilfer when he comes off on the sidelines also.
3rd and 3. Final seconds of this one. And that will do it. For those who have remained, blues for the Eagles. But Trent Dilfer and the Buccaneers and head coach Sam Wyche very pleased with the opening performance here in 95. Two former assistants, Rhodes and Wyche.
I'll tell you what, there's the two quarterbacks, and both of them had good games. Randall moved the offense well. They just couldn't score points. Sam Wyche came in here with a good game plan, utilized it, executed it well. Tampa Bay team's out a winner, off to a great start. For Philadelphia, they got a tough road ahead of them. Next week it's at Arizona. Then it's San Diego here, last year's AFC champions. Then at the Raiders. You know, they have a tough team.
So Cunningham hopes to turn it around for Philadelphia. But our final score here at Veterans Stadium, Tampa Bay defeats Philadelphia 21-6. Coming up, the NASDAQ Stock Market Postgame Report with James Brown, Terry, and Howie. For Bill Moss and our entire crew, this is Mike Breen. So long, everyone.
Our rival back from Pennsylvania. There's Malcolm Glazer, now the winningest owner in the National Football League. Brought his team back to an opening season victory. Welcome again to the big show, everyone. I'm Andy. This is Colin. And not only a huge day of football for this area, perfect weekend for everyone.
College arena football, but Trent Dilfer and the Bucs' stingy defense start the season the way a season is supposed to start, Andy, with a W.
Good thing, too.
Yeah.
And they ventured today into a spot where they had never before won a football game, Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. One of the big weapons, Alvin Harper, in street clothes. That bad ankle put him on the inactive list. But they had other weapons today. Down 3-0 early. Trent Dilfer found one of those weapons. Forrest Copeland. Big day. Stretched out here to make a catch. 64-yarder. The Bucs go on top for good. A year ago, the Bucs were in last place in sacks today. They actually lead the league now. First half alone, they racked up 4, picked up 1 more in the second. Mike Mamula, a message for the Bucs. They didn't like him in the draft, so actually it was Dilfer who took the rap for it. Second year quarterback, though, was fine. Bucs led it 7-6 at the half. Eagles threatened here, but watch Ricky Waters. He was stripped of the ball by Tony Scargill, and Kenny Gant recovers, and the drive ends right there. When the Bucs take over, they took time off the clock, put the Eagles in a deeper hole. 10-yarder here, Dilfer to Jackie Harris. The point after increased the lead to 14-6 in the fourth. And here, folks, is the backbreaker. 4.5 to go. The Eagles pressure Dilfer, but he steps up and finds Forrest Copeland. 44 yards down the field. This is a 3rd and 10 situation, too. For High C, his 5th catch of the day, 155 yards and a touch. Not bad. Eric Rhett held to 28 yards in the first. Different man in the second. Here he goes right through the middle, 19 yards, and the game's final score. Before Malcolm could make it down from the owner's box, it was Rich McKay, the general manager and the coach, starting the celebration. 1 down, 15 to go. The final score, 21-6. Not a bad effort at all.
Yeah, I think the win was not more important, just getting off to a good start this season and being able to do it away from home.
It's always a sign of a good team to not play well and yet still come away with a victory.
It's a football team, caliber football team that I don't think, Tampa's playing in quite a while. And, we were able to go out there and show it. We didn't play our best football today. We have some things we need to improve on, but we were able to go out there and hang and then deliver a knockout blow.
And on the road again next week at Cleveland, Ohio. That should solidify a sellout for that Chicago game.
I would think it would guarantee it. And one thing about the Eagles and Ricky Waters, I think, he was booed at one point today. He'll be a bigger distraction than an addition, perhaps, by midseason. This is a guy that's been destructive his whole career. Looked like it again today.
I think they have a running back who's a little better.
Yeah, they sure do, and Ricky Waters knows it. Well, the offensive game plan was clear for the Bucs, one without giant gambles, but each score was impressive and crucial in its own right. There was Dilfer's bomb to Copeland, you saw that, or his finely threaded throw to Harris, or even Eric Rett's game-clinching run. Chip Carter in Philly takes a look back at each timely touchdown.
Here they come. That's what they look like.
A keyed-up Sam Wyche knew the game would swing on key plays. In 60 minutes, the Bucs ran 78 offensive plays. Three won the game. The first took 19 seconds. Trent Dilfer to Horace Copeland, one of his 5 catches, 64 of his 155-yard total, 7-3 Bucs.
I think Trent liked me now.
I think Trent loves you now.
I think I'm at a dinner. I said this preseason, we have some big play capability on this offense. But you don't script big plays. They just happen. And they happen at the right times today, and that happened to be one of the times.
Next time, it was Jackie Harris, 14-6 Tampa Bay. The Eagles would get the ball only 2 more times the rest of the ball game. The next time Tampa Bay gets the ball, 3rd and 10, Dilfer finds Copeland. The next play, the very next play, Rhett, his longest run of the day, his only touchdown of the afternoon, 21-6 Buccaneers.
Offensive lineman, he told me, he came to the huddle, he said, Eric, just follow behind me. That was his exact word. He said, follow behind me. I said, Biggie, I'm going to follow behind you, straight on in the end zone.
Who said that to you?
Biggie, that's all he said, just follow behind me, and I'm going to take you there. I just follow behind him.
Follow this. The Bucs don't give up a touchdown in 4 quarters, winning the opener on the road for the first time in 5 years.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers showed me 2 things today, patience and production. It's something that's been missing in the past from Buccaneer offenses, but they put it together under a quarterback who was making just his 3rd official start in the National Football League. The final score from Philadelphia, Tampa Bay 21, the Philadelphia Eagles 6. I'm Chip Carter reporting from Veterans Stadium.
Nice to see Jackie Harris, underused position through the years for the Bucs, tight end, make a contribution.
It's also nice to hear him say, we can get better. We weren't perfect out there today.
Yeah, and some more credit to the defensive front, which through the years, especially the last couple, hasn't been great. Of course, it was in the Spellman days, but a huge contributor today.
Yeah, and they're going to get better also. You know, the Dolphins are supposed to be Super Bowl
To
contenders.
show these guys on my team that you know, I can pull myself out of a hole at times, or I can make a big play, or they can count on me.
The Bucs' 21-6 win over Philadelphia is up next on the White Report.
WTOG Channel 44 Sports presents The White Report. Now, live from the Channel 44 studios, here's Pat Boyle and head coach Sam Wyche.
The Buccaneer faithful were out in force tonight, welcoming home the Buccaneers after their huge 21-6 win over the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the White Report. I'm Pat Boyle. You could not script a better way to start out the White Report. Sir, congratulations. 21-6 over the Eagles on the road. A heck of a way to start the season.
It was a great way to start the season, great way to come back home and feel the representative group of the enthusiasm back there at town. That was just a representative group, I know, because I can tell you that we're getting a lot of the feedback, and it's a great feeling for the ball club and the players, coaches, everybody.
Now, you've preached since February, fast start. Get out of the block, get this thing going in the right direction. You're on your way.
Well, the fast start meant winning, early in the season. And, of course, on opening day, it's tough on the road with a new coach in Philadelphia. I think the statistics that were thrown at me during the season was like 27-4 or 27-3 or something like that, that a new coach playing at home on opening day wins 27 and only loses about 3 over recent history. But
we had a good football team that today didn't play their best game. I think probably if you took the last month here, the last 3 games, not counting the New York Jet opener in preseason, but the other 3 preseason games against Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Miami, and then throw this one in. This may have been really one of our mediocre performances among that group, and we still won.
Now, one thing I noticed in the locker room after the game is the way this team reacted. It wasn't like, hey, we won, this place is going nuts. It was a calm, a reaction that said, hey, we sent a message to the league, but there are still more things to be told about.
Well, and I think you have to do that as a football team. I want them to enjoy their victories. I want them to have fun, and I'm not in favor of that group that wants us to be stoic ones on the field and not enjoy and be enthusiastic about it. But I think that you've got to keep everything in perspective. It's a marathon. We've won the first one. There's 15 weeks to go before the playoffs, and each one requires a lot of emotion, a lot of preparation, a lot of output on Sunday. And they did it today. They know they got to regroup and do it again next Sunday.
All right, this is a fun time in the show. The highlights of the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming up next. Roll the VCR is coming up next on the White Report. Defense set the tone in this one, a 21-6 win over Philly. We'll take a look at the highlights, get into it. They really did set the tone early on.
Well, they did, and the defense early on in the season is going to have to do that for us. But the defensive line's got to be the starting point, and not only were they stripping that ball and making good hits, but when you hit them hard like that, you're going to knock them loose, as we saw right there. Here, a little screen pass down the side to Ricky Waters. Not much out of it. Santana Dotson in on that one. Forced him to kick the field goals. We can hold the team to 2 field goals in the next 15 games. Rusty Tillman, if you're listening, that's your job, baby. And Bobby Joe Edmonds. What a classic story. This one's got to be a movie about this one. Is there a producer listening out there that wants to make a bunch of money? And then Trent Dilfer. This was an audible that Trent, we had a play called, and he had the option to call as an audible this particular pattern off of the play. He did it because he read the coverage correctly. Look how tight the throw was. He let the ball go just as he was getting hit. His time was running out just down the field. Great concentration by Horace Copeland. He'll be on the show here with us in just a few minutes. And then, of course, keeping his feet. But once again, just gang tackling. Look how many people are in the frame right here on so many of these plays from the defensive units on the field. Another field goal, and that's the extent of their scoring. And here comes Bobby Joe. This guy right here is just positive yards. Not only him, of course, the entire special team did a great job, including Reggie Roby, who had a great night. They tried this play several times, Pat. I don't know. I think after a while you get the picture that we're staying at home. What you're looking for with a play like that is somebody that's over-pursuing. There you see Warren Sapp, and may have looked like he was stumbling a little bit there, but he was trying to change direction as Randall Cunningham. Here comes the same play again. Not the same play, but the same type play. And that time, it's Hardy Nickerson. Don't know what all that meant right there other than we win, you lose on that play.
Obviously, containing Randall was one of the big keys of the game, and you guys did it time and time again.
Well, if you don't contain a great running quarterback like that, you're going to have, you're going to have a long day. That fumble right there, there were 2 or 3 fumbles that could have gone our way. The score might have, we might have had a chance to score some more in there, but very well officiated game, but those close ones on the road like that, right there, for example, you might get that one. Now, this one, unbelievable. The cardinal rule right here, always try to reach for the ball in front of the foot. Don't go for the foot itself. And he got a piece of that one, but he didn't get it all.
Now, you're fired up 7-6. You have the lead at halftime, but they were winning the war in time of possession. What did you say to the guys to change that strategy around?
That's why I'm hoarse right now. I can't hardly talk, as I was saying in a loud voice, is that, number one, our offense, that's the job of the offense. The offense has to give recovery time. Recovery time means let those guys get back there, settle down. They're in great shape. We're as well-conditioned football team as anybody in this league. But you have to have recovery time in order to get your wind back and get that little rest, and then you're back. And that's just possession offensively. The first time we got the ball, we went down with one play, and we scored a touchdown. Well, we got points, but they didn't get much of a rest. And then we came back, and we were 3 and out a couple of times in there that just wasn't very good.
Let's take a look at some of the second half highlights. And Ricky Waters, I think, is going to be seeing some Buccaneer defense nightmares tonight.
Well, not much going there. I tell you, when you take the handoff and the next sight you see are two orange jerseys coming at you. That time it was Warren Sapp and Thomas Everett. Here comes that fake nothing, not even time to unload the ball to save the sack. We had 5 sacks in this ball game on opening day. That is a good start in anybody's league. And, of course,
turnover.
The big turn. This is a big, big play in the ball game right here because the score, we had the lead, but we didn't have a comfortable lead at this point. And the defense did it. Trent laying the ball out to Eric Rhett. Eric, great block from Dave Moore right there. Didn't see all of it.
We're going to see it right here. Watch Dave Moore, lower left-hand portion of your screen. You're right. This is a tremendous block.
We call them touchdown blocks right there. Sometimes, devastating blocks aren't necessary. Just enough to knock him out of the way so he can't make the play. Here's a good play by Trent Dill for reading the coverage, coming to the open man. We didn't quite make the first down on this particular play, but positive yardage, not taking chances. I thought Trent did a great job of doing the smart things. And right here, this is a touchdown pass. That ball was thrown the only place you could have put it, and that was take something off of it. A lot of quarterbacks don't have all of those shots, or early in their career may not have it. Watch from the end zone right here. You'll see Gavea is actually in the area right there, but because of the way the ball is thrown, he can't get himself back together. This is a little play that we practiced against all week long. A little counter back, nothing. This time, Brad Culpepper and Warren Sapp again right there in the middle. I keep mentioning defensive line players' names, and that's what you want to do when you see them on the field.
Was this a late hit here? He stopped, forward progress, and then boom.
If he's out of bounds, that's a late hit. If the official, felt like that the whistle had blown and he was clearly out of bounds, but no call on it. That's okay. We'll take it.
This
Great
is
play.
not a rookie quarterback.
No.
That throw there.
This is, I tell you what that is. That's a quarterback that's going to be a big-time player. And you spot little things that players do during the course of the early time in the league that tell you you've got something special in your hands, barring injuries and all to go with it.
And you've got a guy as tall as high speed. You just want to get it up there in the air so he can leap and go after you.
Look at the difference there. They had to be 3 feet plus difference. And
hello, Mr. Rhett.
This was Rhett. We're going to give this one to Ian Beckles. I'm going to actually give somebody else the credit on this one because Ian came up. This is a play that was not in the game plan. It's a base play for us. We certainly practiced it a lot. But Ian Beckles said, look, this blocking combination will work. Let's try it. We did. It was right after a timeout and touchdown.
There could have been another one of those turnovers you talked about.
Absolutely. That was Derrick Brooks, who played a beautiful football game.
What was going on with Ricky Waters here in the second half? Watch him pull up on this play.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, the people in Philadelphia didn't like this one. He got a real...
I mean, he doesn't even try.
He got a round of booze on that one there. Eric Curry right there, pressure on, great interception by Lonnie March. Protect that ball, Lonnie. I'll tell you what, late in a game like that, we tell the ball players, if you intercept the ball, we want to maintain possession. The only thing that can happen then, of course, is on the run back, another fumble occurs. But he held on to it, did a great job. And the one thing that's more fun, I think, than any other part of the ball game is that after a satisfying victory, to go over there and congratulate your loyal opposition and wish them well.
We'll take a look at some of the Bill for numbers here. 11 of 19, 215 yards, a pair of touchdowns, and that one interception was a tip ball.
Well, the ball was tipped, and so it stayed in the air a little bit longer than it should have and gave him a chance to intercept it. But overall, for a young quarterback who knew a lot was riding on his performance, that's a tremendous job.
And only high speed, 5 catches, 155 yards.
Yeah, and I noticed that one of the receivers, I don't even know who it was, up in Cleveland, had 157 yards, so he missed him by 2 yards of being the highest producer for weekend one.
Well, some people will pick him up in their fantasy league. You wait and see. Defensively, 5 sacks. Last year, you had 20 total. First game, you get 5.
5 sacks, 5 different people, four of them, linebacker, defensive lineman, and of course Hardy Nickerson getting the 5th one.
And is that a surprise? You Tony Stargell, 10 tackles a week ago.
Yeah, we were in the middle of restructuring the contract, and Tony wanted to be with us, and we wanted to be with Tony. Part of it's the business into this thing like this. Is it a surprise? No. He's a good football player, and somebody else next week may have those 10 tackles and be the defensive headliner, but somebody each week is going to be. Tonight, this time it's Tony Stargell.
Bring us up to date on the injury situation. Martin Mayhew went down in the first half with a knee.
With a knee, it's not a real serious one, but it's probably going to be 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, and Jackie Harris had a little hyperextended knee in the first half, played the rest of the ball game, but in the morning we'll see. He could be real stiff.
What did you say to these guys after the ball game? Do you think you keep this in perspective and we move on, or what did you say?
You always congratulate the team. They deserve to be recognized. It was a whale of an effort, but I did point out to them, know in your heart, just like I do, this was not the best football game that you can play. We can play a lot better than this. And takes nothing away from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to do a great job up there. And really, I think Ray Rhodes is going to be the hero up there before it's over with. Got a few things to put together. Got to get their offensive tackle back and so forth. But for us, we didn't play really a sharp ball game. There were a lot of almost. The almost blocked punt, the almost interceptions. When we're having one of those top days, that victory's going to be a little bit bigger.
Offensively, Eric Rett seemed to have some, I guess, a lot of traffic in front of him. The safety seemed to be collapsing, and it was difficult to get the running game established.
Well, you could say they obviously they did a great job. They had some great schemes, some good ideas defensively. They knew that they had to stop Eric Rett. If you were playing us on opening day, you say, young quarterback, Sam's probably going to take the pressure off of him, try to run the football. Let's stop that, make him put the pressure on the quarterback. But unfortunately, Trent came through just like the rest of the team. It was a team effort all the way around.
Time now for the You Save play of the game, and for that we head to the fourth quarter, turning point of the game. And the Bucs led it 7-6. Dilfer hit Mr. Harris.
Jackie Harris, and this is just, we talked about it earlier, it was a beautifully thrown touch pass. Jackie Harris going up to make a catch, knowing he was probably going to get stripped when he came down with it. And really that play was designed for the flanker to go in motion all the way across, but they had to fence that part. So the flanker came back and Trent made the adjustment in the touchdown.
Let's hope Jackie's feeling good, so he'll be back to line next week.
Now, I think he will be. This is a pretty tough character we're talking about.
All right, time for a break. When we come back, Horace Copeland, High C, will join us on the set. We'll talk about, of course, his big touchdown and the flip that those of you here in the Tampa Bay area did not get to see. You'll get to see it coming up next on the Wyche Report. Now, former Hurricane, and now standout wide receiver for Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Horace Copeland. High C, you guys sent a message today. But when I walked in that locker room after the game, you guys kept saying over and over, this is only just begun, basically.
Almost definitely. You know, it's a long training camp. We worked real hard to get where we're at, but you're not quite finished. You got a long ways to go, but it's a great start, and a number one victory in the first game. Helped build our confidence builder up for the next game, and we're just happy.
5 catches, 155 yards. Nothing new, right?
Nothing new, and really, you know, here's the situation where High C knew he was going to play a lot in the ball game, but he didn't know how much. I mean, Alvin Kurtz, it was a Thursday or Wednesday? Thursday, it's here on Thursday. So really, we only practice. Friday's a light practice. I'll let you decide what that's like in a minute, but it's a light practice, and then he goes out there. But remember, this guy led the entire National Football League in preseason in yardage, in total yardage as a receiver. Friday, though, what did you do on Friday? You didn't even run full speed patterns.
No, we just took it easy, more mentally practice that you have us doing. Sometimes.
You guys drive me crazy. Sometimes Fridays are the worst. We can spend a couple hours on that one night. But anyway, this is really the story of the team, where somebody gets nicked, whoever's up next steps right in there and does a great job, even player of the game.
Let's see some of the video. I see, describe that, first of all, the bomb there. It was a play that I guess Trent said it was designed for him to tell you at the line of scrimmage which way to go.
Right, you know, it's something we worked on in practice all the time, throwing the deep ball, and it was just a regular post route, and I ran the guy, and it was a great throw by Trent.
Also, I mean, the huge play also came in the fourth quarter, 3rd and 10, and Dilfer avoids the rush and hits you on that 44-yard.
Yeah, most definitely. Normally, a regular quarterback, they would have fell down right there, but Trent hung in the pocket and did a great throw, and with my ability in the air, we got to jump up and get the ball, make the play.
Now, this is a play you guys work on all the time. It's almost like a jump ball.
Right.
It's designed to take advantage of your height.
Most definitely. Like I said, that's one of the things we work on in practice. Sometimes we practice just underthrowing just to make us jump up and get it. And it worked today in that game.
Now,
well, what I was going to say, we actually, in practice this week, if you remember, we lost a player doing it when Jerry Wilson, and was it you or Alvin, was going down the middle. Alvin happened to be the guy going down the middle. Exact same kind of a play, went up for the ball, and Jerry came down a little wrong on it, so he was injured during the practice week. But we were practicing that exact circumstance. He was ready for it and made the play.
Now, those of you Buccaneers fans that remember the game against Atlanta a couple years back will remember High C and a nice little backflip he did. I asked him this week if he'd do it again, and he didn't give me an answer. But you didn't get to see it on TV. Here it is right here. High C after the big hello. Sam, what do you give that?
Well, I don't know. Did you see the way his feet separate a little bit? You got to,
On a scale of 1 to 10.
You can give it 6 points. That's what you get. Well, now watch, right? Watch. See a little bit of separation. What are you thinking about? You got to keep that stuff together. But really, you know, early this season, probably having a lot of practice with that. Later on, we'll get a lot more.
I see it's going to be an Olympic event in Atlanta, so just keep working on it, and we'll see what you can do. You know, there were a lot of other happy Buccaneer fans and players today. Let's take a listen to what they had to say in the locker room after the game.
Believe me, I am excited about this. You know, the way we won this game, we were able to, we hung in there, and then we delivered that knockout blow. You know, that's a sign of a very good football team.
And one you haven't seen in the last 2 years.
Well, it's a football team, a caliber football team that I don't think, you know, Tampa's seen in quite a while. And, you know, we were able to go out there and show it. We're doing real good right now with our pass rush and getting up the field. And definitely, we did a good job today of running to the ball, you know, as their running game. So we did a good job of putting them in third and long situations. And when you do that, as a defensive unit, you know, you're doing the things to get yourself off the field.
As soon as preseason, we had some big play capability on this offense. But you don't script big plays. They just happen. And they happen at the right times today, and that happened to be one of the times. And you know, when guys have the ability to make big plays like High C and Eric Brett and Jack Harris and those guys, you can be struggling offensively or kind of putting along, and next thing you know, you score a touchdown. You don't know how you did it.
It just seemed like, you know, they were giving us the running game, but they were filling the safeties in. The safeties was coming up hard when we run the ball. So, you know, Trent capitalized on other things. I mean, he started passing the ball, faking the ball, and hitting high speed deep, and hey, had some good running plays in the fourth quarter.
Not the same old Bucks, right?
Hey, definitely not.
That's what you guys are saying, running off the field. I mean, it's a thrill. You go into the vet, a hostile crowd, to say the least, and you guys come out of there. I mean, that's plane ride home in like 10 minutes.
I don't know. I mean, you know, the one thing that I am happy about is that was really a team. And here's a guy that had 155 yards. Trent had to come through and did come through. The defensive line all the way across the board did it. Special teams. Reggie Rowe, punting that ball out of bounds inside the 20 several times to keep them backed up. Bobby Joe Edmondson. There's a lot of new names, a lot of new circumstances, a lot of new events, but they're all leading to winning.
All right, coming up next, Sam will design some of the plays, that high-speed touchdown. And coming up next is the Wyche Report continues. Report, everyone. Time now to see just how the Buccaneers did their scoring today. Let's head over to Sam Wyche, who's posted.
Okay, well, thank you. We're going to try out a new little item here, and I've got the clicker in my hand. And this is a 2 touchdown passes we're going to take a look at here. And the first thing I just want you to isolate on is watch the protection. I'm on slow motion, and you can see the offensive line right here. They're forming a pure pocket. Both of the defense of the running backs are blocking. One blocks to the right, one blocks to the left. He's lined up. The other back is going to come to the left. I think Derrick comes to the left. Quarterback set in the pocket and steps up. Very important that quarterbacks get back. Give them a landmark to charge to, and then step back up in the pocket. A good pass, you'll see that the tackle rusher is behind the quarterback and the ball is released. Now watch. There's the ball released. Look where Paul Gruber's man is. He's behind the quarterback. Ball's in the air, and as I mentioned earlier, that ball seemed like it was in the air for a good 3.5 minutes as you're on that sideline watching it. Not only did High C make a great catch right there, but he kept his feet. That's a very tough thing to do when the ball's thrown that far down the field. The next pass took place. It was a touch pass to Jackie Harris. Again, solid protection. You see both backs are splitting. One back goes to the right. I'm going to learn this, guys, right here. One back blocks to the left and one back going to the right side. And Jackie Harris is going to release up the field, and he's got what's called a decision route or a decide route. And you can't see he's just out of frame there, but he goes up, then puts the ball high and away, and it's a great game. You know, a lot of those things, Trent mentioned, sometimes you don't script great plays or big plays, they just happen. And in this case, that's exactly what that last touchdown was all about. It was the guy making a decision, the quarterback being on the same page with him.
We're going to make a weatherman out of you yet.
Well, not if I keep pointing and my fingers don't go where there's things happening on the screen, but we'll keep working at it.
Time now for the Russell Athletic Question of the Week. It's time for you to ask Sam a question. Here's this week's summary.
Hey, Coach, this is Russ Holt from St. Petersburg. Quick question for you. We've got a great defense, but they were on the field today for like 3/4 of the game. They stopped it, and they were the difference. But can we keep this up all year against better teams?
Well, you can't do that. I kept going over to our offensive unit and saying, look, man, you've got to get them some rest. Recovery time is the most important. We're one of the best conditioned teams in the league, but you have to have recovery time. The offense is responsible for giving them that rest.
Next week on the road against Cleveland should be a tough one. Looking forward to seeing you back here, though.
Looking forward to it. Cleveland, old rivalry.
All right. Stay tuned. Next Sunday night at 11 o'clock, we'll talk about the Cleveland Browns live on WTOZ on the Wyche Report. So long, everyone.